Hello again everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another speed build video in The Sims 4. Hope you're all having the most amazing day ever so far, and thank you so much for joining me here today for our very first festive build of the year. I am so excited to share this with you all. I've not been really feeling too Christmassy this year, but this build definitely helped me get into the Christmas spirit, so I'm really hoping that you and your Sims enjoy this home over the festive period. But yeah, we're building in Willow Creek on this 40 by 30 lot. The house is 4 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms and is decorated head to toe for Christmas or Winterfest because obviously Christmas in The Sims is called Winterfest. Now, currently working on the exterior here, I'm so obsessed with the colour scheme that we ended up choosing for the exterior and the interior. I did a Christmas build last year and I feel like the interior didn't really match the exterior, but with this house, I really tried to sort of like blend it so that everything matched, and you'll see exactly what I mean when we do get onto the interior. It's super cozy. Every single room is Christmas themed, and yeah, it brought me so much joy, and it was so refreshing as well, because as I was just saying at the beginning, I'm not really feeling super Christmassy this year, but this build definitely snapped me back into, okay, it's Christmas, let's start feeling festive. Now, I love the shape of this house. Because it's built on a 40 by 30 lot, the house itself is pretty big, obviously 4 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. There's no room in this build that is super small. We have 1 bathroom on the ground floor. It has like a utility room as well. So what I mean by that is we have a washer and a dryer in there as well, which I thought was super handy. We have a separate garage space, which I kind of turned into a clutter / storage room. However, we also have items in there to keep your Sims occupied. So there's a ping pong table, there's a woodworking station, there's a punching bag. Yeah, it's so much fun. And then obviously if you want to move more Sims in here, you can convert that garage into another bedroom. I just didn't want to do that because it feels like it's been a little while since I've done like a separate garage space for a build, and I really like using it and sort of turning it into like more of an activity space for your Sims to enjoy. So you'll have to let me know what you and your Sims think of that. But I also love the fact that we used these windows from Growing Together, and I did pair them with these shutters from Horse Ranch, these sort of dark green ones, which I thought was super festive. We messed around with some flower boxes here and there, but we end up removing those. I don't think I do it on camera because I do some finagling off camera, because I was looking at this build, and I've said this before on the channel and I'll say it again, the more I look at a build that I've created, the more I'll start to pick it apart. I'll start to realize what's wrong with it. Because I'm a perfectionist and because I'm super critical on myself as well, I just started picking everything apart. So I was like, that doesn't look quite right. So I tweaked slight things on the landscaping. I tweaked some things on the exterior. And by that, I mean the flower boxes. There's really nothing too much that I did off camera, but I didn't really want you guys to have to endure me fiddling with it as much as I did. Now, also a disclaimer, I did not play with this build in the summer or the spring or the autumn. I only built this house in the winter, so I have no idea what this house is going to look like. And what I mean by that is the landscaping in particular. Obviously the inside of the house, if you want to download it and it's not Christmas time, or you're not wanting to play in the festive period, then you can just download the unfurnished version, which obviously the floor plan would still be laid out, but there'd be no furnishings. And then you just need to tweak probably some little bits on the outside. But the landscaping that I chose whilst I was building this looks good in the winter, which is why I chose it. So just a disclaimer that I'm putting out there, I do not know what this house looks like when it's not winter. I can't imagine it's going to look terrible, but this house was definitely designed to be in winter in the snow. That's what it was designed for. So I'm just putting that disclaimer out right there. Anyway, so this is the landscaping that I was referring to. I used some of these like grass pieces from Island Living, so I already know that does not match with the landscaping in Willow Creek, which is the world that we're building in. Then I start pulling out some debug items from Snowy Escape and Get Together, but again, I think I did that off camera because I was like, yeah, there's just something that's not quite working with the trees that I'd chosen here. But you'll see in just a moment when we flip the shot, and then you'll see sort of what we've changed. Anyway, I don't even know why I'm mentioning it. It's such a minor thing, but I always like to be transparent, and I always just like to say, right, okay, I didn't include that in the footage because of. Anyway, then you'll see me fiddling with, okay, so I want to make it look festive. So I was pulling out some items from the holiday pack and then the seasons pack, thinking, oh yeah, I can make this look good. Like, this looks awful. This is just me testing and seeing what I can come up with, seeing what looks good. But I end up stripping this right back and just adding some more sort of subtle pieces to the outside. So here we are. So this is with the landscaping slightly changed and with the actual decorations exactly how I want them to be. So nothing major, that's it, that's just as it is. But I think it looks so much better, I really do. And these flower boxes from Cottage Living that with that pop of red, they just really look fantastic, I think. And I'm just obsessed with these shutters from Horse Ranch. I knew when that pack came out and I saw these shutters, I was like, I know I'm going to use these in so many builds, and I think I've used them in quite a few. I would say in the last month or two, maybe I would say. And then that was me just removing the bed because I'd moved a sim onto the lot so that I could like take some screenshots and make sure that everything was looking how I wanted it to look. So I very quickly just deleted the bed that I was using, and it was really funny actually because while I was playtesting this build after I'd already built it, I had my test sim in there and I thought I'll try out all the beds, etc. And then I decided, I saw Vlad sneak down the side of the house and I was like, quickly lock the doors. Nope, he still managed to get inside. He still managed to bite my sim, and I was like, really? Can you not just have a day off? Like, do you have to just ruin everything all the time? Like, why does he have to be like that? It's so quintessentially Sims, and I do genuinely love it, but at the same time I was like, why do you have to ruin everything? Anyway, yeah, it doesn't matter. So now we've moved on to the back of the build. As you can see, it's pretty much identical to the front. The only thing I changed was I didn't see, you see this bit on the left here? I didn't have it coming as far out because what I noticed with the floor plan on the inside is that I was going to have to try and work out which rooms that I could divvy up with that space, and it was so long and thin. I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to do this. So I do shorten the bit at the back, and then I end up fencing in the back garden, which is huge. I decorated the back garden off camera. Another disclaimer, I decorated the back garden off camera because in truth I wasn't going to decorate it at all, because with me being in winter, I was like, what can I even put out here? What's even going to look half decent? So I ended up adding a pool. There is a pool in this build, which is going to be great if you're playing not in winter, but honestly, I had no idea what else to put there because it's such a big back garden. I've forgotten what it's like to build on a 40 by 30 lot. I feel like I've been building sort of smaller houses recently. It's been, I think, about a month since I've built a pretty sizable house. So I feel like I was so rusty. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Now we've moved on to the interior. So you'll see me, I'm having to move some of the windows around to gain some space on the inside and try and work out what's going to go where. So this is where one of the bedrooms is, just at the front, and then at the back there's the toilet and utility room. Then we have like a big hallway area, but the stairs aren't in the hallway. The stairs are actually part of the living room, which I actually really like about this house. I've spoken before about how when there's like exposed stairs in the living room, it makes the area look so cozy and homey, and like I'm just obsessed with it. And then I do use this big beautiful archway from the Growing Together pack because I don't seem to be able to use that very often, and that's, I think, because when I create bigger builds, I always think they're bigger than there's one of two things happens. I always think they're bigger than they are, and then I'll get onto the interior and I'll be like, this is actually quite small. Or I'll create a build and think, oh, this is not that big. And then I'll get onto the interior and work the floor plan out, and I'm thinking, oh, okay, it's actually pretty big. So the first room we work on is the living room. I adore how this space turned out. It's so cozy, it's so festive. It is just like, it's just so Christmassy. I was really debating on whether or not I just wanted to put a tree up and then a couple of decorations in this house, and then I got onto the inside and I went nuts. I went to town on the Christmas decorations. So I used a lot of items from Seasons, a lot of items from that free holiday pack that we got years ago at this point, years and years and years ago. I would really like them to do like a newer Christmas update. That's not happening this year, let's be honest, because Christmas is less than a week away now at this point, and I just, oh no, sorry, Christmas is a week away. I just can't see them doing a Christmas update this year, which is a shame, because I see, like, I think it's The Sims Mobile, they get like Halloween updates and Christmas updates and other sort of holiday updates, and I'm thinking, why don't they do that for The Sims 4? Anyway, minor, very minor. And then it took me so long to figure out which sofa I wanted to use in this build. And I did this exact same thing last year with my Christmas build. It took me so long to pick out the furniture, and I did exactly the same thing here. Look at me trying to choose a rug. This completely stumped me. I thought I had it with this rug, and then I was like, it's just not it's not saying anything. It's just, no, I didn't like it. I didn't like the sofa, as in I like this sofa but not in this setting, if that makes sense. So yeah, I ended up switching the sofa out for, which one do I swap it out for? I can't remember. Oh, it's the one from Horse Ranch. Yes, it is. I actually used so many items from Horse Ranch in this build, like this coffee table's from Horse Ranch. The sofa and the chairs end up being from Horse Ranch. The dining room chairs in the kitchen, they're from Horse Ranch. Those items came in so handy with this build, because I feel like this build, it's quite traditional, but it has slightly modern elements to it. And I don't mean like super modern as in, oh, it's minimalist, nothing like that. But yeah, this is when I change out the sofa. I was going to go green, and then the green was a little bit much, so I ended up doing like the chocolate brown leather paired with the 2 red armchairs. I thought that was a really good balance of the two. I just think it ends up looking really nice and really cozy. But yeah, let me know what you think about the sofa choice, because I think this is a lot better than the one from Cottage Living. I used a lot of items from Cottage Living actually, specifically in the kitchen, which I can't believe I haven't even spoken about this. It's my favorite room in the house. I don't often say that, I don't think, about my kitchens, but yeah, it's so nice. I can't wait for you to see it, but it's genuinely, I was so surprised by it. I use this fireplace from, I think that's from the free holiday pack. If you don't have that, then you can just swap it out for pretty much any fireplace. Obviously, if you download this, you are completely free to do whatever you would like with this. You really are. But if there's some items missing, they're definitely replaceable with other items from other packs. But if you have seasons, then you should be all right, because I think a lot of the items are from seasons, even though it's not a pack restricted build. I think it would be kind of nice to do a Christmas build that's like base game seasons and then the holiday pack. I think that might be something that I could maybe do. Maybe not this year. I don't know how much time I'm going to have and how many more videos I'm going to be able to get out before Christmas, because things are a little bit like, I'm still working. I don't have time off work at Christmas, so yeah, it's going to be interesting. And by I don't have time off work at Christmas, I mean I have like Christmas Eve and Christmas Day off, but then I'm back to work Boxing Day. So that's what I mean by I don't have Christmas off. Yeah, anyway, the living room's nearly done. I'm just adding some clutter pieces here, because I was thinking that I wanted the house to look super lived in and just really cozy. I'm still umming and ahhing about whether or not I like these curtains. These curtains are from Seasons, but then I'm looking at them more and I'm like, I actually quite like them, because like they've got the gold leaves on and they're quite festive. I think they look quite nice. I love the fireplace area. That rocking chair from Horse Ranch fits in so well. Like, there's like red on the cushion. I just thought that fit in really well with the vibe. And then this lamp from Base Game. I just ended up finding so many items from so many different packs that are festive. You know, I was like, I'm actually quite surprised. I do move this basket off camera, so I move it back next to the armchair so that your Sims can access the bookcase. But yeah, this is the kitchen, so I'm really excited to show you this, with it being my favorite room in the house. It's more counters than I would usually place. However, that worked in my favor, because there's a lot of empty counters so that your Sims can prepare their food, which is obviously super handy for gameplay. So usually my kitchens are a lot smaller and a lot more cluttered. So yeah, it just ended up working really, really well. I think these are from the Country Kitchen kit. The fridge and the cooker from the Country Kitchen kit in this beautiful deep forest green. Like, that just screams Christmas to me. It really does. It's absolutely gorgeous. I end up getting rid of these tiles on the floor, and looking back, I do quite like them, but I end up just using the wood that's throughout the build. I use that in here, and then I use some red tiles from the Home Chef Hustle stuff pack, I think, in the red swatch. So even the tiles are festive. So I don't really know what it's definitely not a realistic house, because I can't imagine that someone would go to the lengths to change their tiles for the festive period. I just can't imagine it. It's definitely one of those houses that's just for Christmas. I'd be really interested to see if anyone can like de-Christmas this house. Obviously it would hurt me a little bit, but also it'd be kind of interesting to see if anybody could actually do that, because it's definitely so Christmassy. Like it's ridiculous. I'm going to be honest, it's a little bit ridiculous. But I was trying to get myself into the festive spirit, okay, and this was the only thing that I could think that I need to do. I'm also going to say it as well, I haven't watched that many Christmas films this year. That's probably another reason that I don't feel super Christmassy. I've watched 2 so far. I've watched National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, which is just fantastic. It's so funny. It's a brilliant Christmas film. And then what else have I watched? I haven't watched The Holiday yet. I haven't watched Love Actually yet. There's another one I've seen, and I can't even remember the name of it. No, it's gone. Maybe it'll come to me. It'll come to me randomly when I'm talking about something else, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I watched that Christmas film. Anyway, so yeah, you can see the entire kitchen is just unbelievably Christmassy. I put these little aprons up from base game in the red and the green swatch. I was like, this was when I started to think, okay, this house is just Christmas. What? There's nothing else I can say about it. But anyway, now we're working on the hallway. So this is where your Sims will access the house. So the front door's on the left, it's the red one. And then the back door leading out to the garden is the white one on the right. It's quite minimally decorated compared to the rest of the house, because I was very aware that the rest of the house, there's so much going on in terms of like clutter and colours and themes and just festive things. So I was like, okay, let's try and tone this bit back even just a little bit, just to make things a little bit more balanced. And then when your Sims walk into the house, it's a little bit less overwhelming. Yeah, it's really strange, because I'm looking at the house now. I don't think it's overwhelming in a bad way at all. I just think there's a lot going on. Like, if you've already downloaded this house, or if you're thinking about downloading this house, you'll probably download it and think, woo, yes. I wonder what season this is supposed to be for. Anyway, bad joke. So this is the downstairs bedroom. So this I envisioned as either a guest bedroom or possibly a bedroom for the grandparents, because perhaps this could be like a generations Christmas home, or it could be a teen room. It doesn't really matter. It's pretty versatile. So if you have a Sim in mind who you'd like to move into this room, you can definitely customize it to suit their personality. But I kept things pretty generic, I'm going to be honest. The parents' room's the parents' room. I did a children's room, which is again pretty generic. And then I did a nursery as well, because I feel like it's been a little while since I've done a nursery. So you could definitely have just whoever in this room. It took me a little while to get into this, because it was obviously the first time that I'd done like a bedroom that was festive. First time this year that I'd done a bedroom that was festive, so it took me a little while to get into it, but we got there in the end. We did. And then I was working out like what else can I add in this room. So I put like a little armchair here with a footstool. I was gonna add a small fire or a small wood burner, and then I thought no, so I ended up adding a radiator from the For Rent pack on this wall, which is so funny because there's no radiators anywhere else in the house. And it's already on the gallery, so it's not even like I can change that. And I haven't actually played with the radiators. I know I put like a little space heater, the one from Snowy Escape. I put that in the garage, and I know your Sims can turn that on and warm themselves, but I don't know if they can do that with these radiators from For Rent. I wonder if they can. I think they can. I think that was added to the radiator that came with vampires in like an update. So I can only assume that they've done the same thing with these. So at least that sim will be really toasty warm. And then we move on to this room here, which is the combined sort of toilet, downstairs bathroom, sorry, / laundry room. Because the house is so big, I could have turned this into another bedroom, or I could have done an office, but then I was thinking, well, if you've got upwards of 6 Sims living here, you're gonna need more than 2 bathrooms. So I thought, yeah, let's sort of combine the spaces. Let's create a bathroom and a laundry room. Again, it feels like it's been a little while since I've done something like that, so it was just kind of nice to be able to add this in here. If you don't have laundry day, you could definitely just add some different items in here. If you don't want this to be a bathroom, you could turn it into whatever you want. It could be a playroom for the kids, it could be a nursery, it could be another bedroom, it could be an office, it could be whatever you'd like it to be. You make as many changes as you would like. But I really like this room. I think it looks super cozy, super festive. And again, we're just continuing with the Christmas theme with the colours and the items and everything else that's going on in here. It's so much. I'm looking back now and I'm like, wow. Oh my gosh. Anyway, it is what it is. It's a super happy Christmas house. What can I say? So then we move on to the garage. I definitely wanted this to be, as I was saying at the beginning, like a functional but cluttered space, like garages typically are. So again, if you want to turn this into a bedroom, you can turn it into another sitting area, you could turn it into a hangout space, you could do whatever you wanted with it. So I wanted it to be like an activity room stroke a place that the family just like put loads of clutter. So there's the attic box here, so you can take down your Christmas decorations if you would like to. The attic stack box, whatever it's called, that's from Seasons. There's a punching bag, there's a table tennis table, there's like a little cooler here that you can get drinks from. There's a couple of bikes in here, so maybe like they were the kids' bikes. I know I had in mind that there was going to be a child living here, so maybe they have 2 bikes. I don't know. Maybe they have 2 bikes. Maybe their friend left their bike here. I didn't really think too much about it. But yeah, that little space heater there just near the door, that's from Snowy Escape. And when I was testing this, I noticed that when it's on, like the little grid turns orangey red. I was like, that's a cute detail that I've never noticed before. But yeah, adding loads of clutter to the wall, and I struggled just a tiny little bit with this room because I felt the need to just cover every inch of this. With it being a garage, I didn't want it to be like really minimally decorated. I didn't want it to be super like organized either, because I don't think that's very realistic. I know we've converted our garage, but we've still got like the front of the garage, so ours isn't, it's not super organized. It's a little bit more organized now because my husband went in there and found my Sims, my original Sims discs, my Sims 2 discs, which I now have on my shelf. But it's a little bit more organized now, and I was like, thank you so much for doing that, because I completely forgotten I even had those discs. I can't use them because my PC doesn't have a disk drive, as most of them don't now. It's just nice to have them for nostalgia reasons. I don't even know why that was worth mentioning. I mentioned it anyway, so yeah. We're just finishing up the garage here. I finally found my groove. I used a couple of items from the Basement Treasures kit along with the Everyday Clutter pack. That came in super handy. I used this old rug. I think it's from Get Famous. I just think that worked really well in there. And then we move on to the parents' room, which is up here. I had already picked out the bed because is it the same bed as the one downstairs, but in a different swatch? I can't remember. No, it's not. I've just seen it. I picked it out because I saw it in the catalogue and I was like, I'm going to use that in the parents' room. So I just plopped it in here. So I really like this room. Actually, I don't usually like my main bedrooms, but I thought this room actually turned out quite well. And this rug from Cottage Living, I didn't think it would work. And it maybe doesn't, because it does clash with the duvet cover, the tartan. But do you know what? I actually really like it. I think it works but also doesn't work. Has anyone ever found that sometimes when they're doing like either an exterior or an interior of a Sims build and you're like, that should not work, but it kind of works, and then you end up questioning yourself and you think, there's no way. There's just no way. And then you think, well, I've done it now, so it doesn't matter. So again, continuing with the Christmas theme in here, there's a lot of red, there's a lot of green, there's a lot of like beautiful sort of deep chestnut woods in here as well, and I'm just obsessed. I'm so obsessed with it. Like I said, I'm kind of got in my head that I'm going to build like a tiny winter village, because now that we can have multiple lots, sorry, I do this every time, multiple houses on one lot, I thought it'd be kind of fun to create like a tiny winter village. We'll see if that comes to fruition. Again, don't know how much time I'm going to have, but I'm going to stop harping on about that. I did end up changing out the lamps that I'd chosen here, because I decided to put on these wall lights instead, which I think work a little bit better actually. And then we move on to the ensuite. I think I leave in me decorating the bathrooms, which isn't something I would typically do. I don't really know why I did that with this house. I just didn't feel the need to cut any of the footage, because I've always said if you've seen me decorate one bathroom in a build, you've seen me do them all, because I tend to keep them pretty similar, if not identical, other than making slight changes here and there. But anyway, that's not important. And then we move on to the children's room. I was initially going to make this a twin room, and then I decided against it. I think because we have like this really weird jut out piece just on the right here, it just wasn't working for me, and I was thinking it's going to be kind of cramped and kind of smushed. Obviously, if you have 2 child sims, I would personally recommend adding a bunk bed in here. Obviously you can add another single bed if you would like, but this is where I start adding the dresser, and then they have a toy chest and a chair in the corner. It just makes it a more functional space and a nicer space for the child sim to actually spend the time in, because I quite like when I'm playing, it doesn't happen very often, but when I'm playing, my child sims have somewhere that they can go to sort of occupy themselves if they need to, or if they want to, if I kind of want them out of the way, or if my sims want them out of the way. I know that sounds really horrible, but yeah, it just means they've got their own space to do what they want to do. So yeah, we end up going for like a green theme here. These curtains from High School Years came in so handy. I think they look absolutely fantastic, and I feel like it's been a while since I've used these curtains in this swatch. I'm trying to remember the last time I used them. Like, I'm lucky I remember my own name some days, so there's definitely no way that I'm going to be able to remember. But yeah, this is the toy chest that I was referring to, but I end up switching that out for a chair, and then I move the toy chest over slightly. This chest of drawers from Cats and Dogs in this red swatch, I just thought it worked so beautifully in this room. The chairs from Cottage Living, I just think I kind of like how the shades of green and red kind of match, but they also don't. I think it makes it look a little bit more organic, a little bit more natural, because obviously, like in real life, you have different shades of all the colours, and if you're buying items from, say, IKEA, and then you go to another shop, they're not going to be the same shade of red or green, or whatever colour. So I just think it adds that little bit of more realism, I think. It annoys me when wood swatches don't match, even though, again, in my own house, we don't have wood swatches that really match unless we've got like a set that we've bought, like our living room set all matches because it's from one set. I've gone off on a tangent again, but I'm honestly, at this point, I'm just not surprised, because this is a longer voiceover than I've done for around a month now. So to be honest, it just doesn't surprise me that I've got into this like weird rambly stage. Anyway, I was going to add a little desk with a computer in here, which would have been really handy for like homework and stuff, but it just wasn't looking right. So I do end up switching it out for this bookshelf from High School Years. I just think it looks better. Obviously, if you would prefer this sim to have a computer in here, then switch that out and put that small desk back in. It really wouldn't take much at all. It's just, I thought, oh, well, we can add more Christmas decorations on this, and then obviously they can pull books off here as well, even though I added more books on top. Anyway, they've got books. They've got loads of books to help them with the homework, and so many wall decor pieces. I went to town on this. It looks messy, but it kind of works, I think, because it's a child's bedroom, so you know it's not going to be super tidy all the time. So I just add some final details here, and then we do move on to the nursery. I envisioned an infant here, so I imagined it was 2 parents and their 2 kids, and then obviously whatever you want to do with the downstairs bedroom is entirely up to you. So maybe the grandparents do live here with them, so there's 2, 4, 5, so there could be 6 Sims living here, as I stated previously. But yeah, this is the little nursery here. So yeah, an infant. The only thing I did not include was a tummy time playmat, so you might want to perhaps place one down somewhere. This room's definitely big enough to have it. I don't know why I didn't put it in, actually. That's a bit annoying, actually. I do apologise for that, but I'm sure you could add one anyway. So again, the colour schemes in here, it's the green and red again. This infant also has a Christmas tree in their room. I'm just going to point that out. Why? I don't know, because I could. I sized it down so it's like a baby tree. Yeah, I don't know why they have a tree, but they do, and I think it just adds to the whole aesthetic. But anyway, you'll be pleased to know that this is the end of the video. So let's wrap things up. So if you would like to download this house from the gallery, my origin ID is RachelPedd. Tray files, as always, are linked down in the description box below. You can get them for free from Sim File Share. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining me here today. I really hope you and your Sims enjoy this festive build. Please feel free to send me any screenshots. But you all take care, and I will see you again next time. Bye.